Edge of York City Knights 14, Oldham 18, and we've seen some cracking tries in the first 40 minutes. The game is evenly balanced, a great crowd here, they've filled the stands and they're lining the grassy banks alongside, and they're looking forward to a great second half here. You can enjoy it with Terry O'Connor, Barry McDermott and first of all Ben Pro.
Well, York were 12-0 down in as many minutes in that first half. They trail by just 4 points as this second half is about to get underway. 3 tries apiece in that first period. And it's Richard Knight to kick things off. Strong run immediately from Jamie Anson, who made an impact from the bench when he came on in the first half.
And that's where York have been really good in that first half, controlling the speed of the ruck. And Paul March, the coach, would have been saying, keep that confidence up. We're playing really well, we're playing on the front foot, and we're laying a platform for our backs. Barry, what do you reckon Tony Benson would have been saying?
I think Tony Benson had got the Oldham side in and said, look, we've got to win the floor, we've got to lock the ball out, and at 9 offloads to 0, it's killing us unless we do that.
Good kick. And Danny Radcliffe eventually gets there. It's Andy Ballard leading the chase, and he's outfoxed really, and York launching the counter. It was Mitchell, I think, who was flirting with the touchline on this near side. Adam Mitchell now, and Jordan Ross.
But sometimes, Ben, you can't discourage players from doing that. If they see an opportunity, they've got to take it. If they back their own confidence, you've got to let the player go with it.
4, hands out! Go.
Chris Clough. Now it's Mitchell.
5! Upright tackle.
Beg your pardon, that is David March who plays the ball, and Paul March scoots onto it.
Okay.
Now Greenwood though for Oldham. And immediately he's put over the sideline in touch on the very first tackle, so no wonder the York crowd are applauding, no wonder the players are so pumped up.
And that's more reward for adventure. Look, he comes down the blind side, puts the kick in, it rebounds off the Oldham player who picks it up, and because of the enthusiasm, the York players get him off the island. Tony Benson will know just to control the game will mean that it's going to slot back into Oldham's favour. It's going to be more of a contest that Oldham want to be in if it's controlled.
Tom Harbright put to ground on the near side. Danny Radcliffe finds Adam Mitchell.
Second, move, hold, go.
Now Hodgson, Janssen is there.
3, move,
Patience from York so far. Chris Clough in a good position, and Clough is strong. Chris Clough from the bench. It's an important tackle coming in from Chris Baines. Heavyweight collision there. Paul March gets the ball away, but that's surrendered by York. Another opportunity missed.
Go.
It was, Ben, but again, this is how you watch your reaction to the mistake. Well, there's the reaction, and that's a penalty.
Compounded the error by giving a penalty away for offside, York.
And your focus has got to be, your transition has got to be straight onto defence. It's okay coming out and trying to put a shot on, but you've got to make sure you stand in the 10 yards in line with the referee. Sloppy play.
Not the best pass. And it's Wayne Kerr who, on from the bench, takes his first action. Now Goulden.
2, move, reject, go.
Paula. Was Thomas Coyle. This is Chris Baines now.
3, move, Danny Wait, go.
Thomas Coyle again for James. Coyle this time.
Did well to catch that ball, Wayne Kerr. Was coming at him at some pace, and he was on a good line going back against.
This is Roden, look one way, came back the other. Found Janssen, and on the bounce up, it's going to reach Baines.
That's back to 1.
6 more for Oldham, and the Coyles going through it again. They've combined.
Clock off there.
It's James Coyle who's
All right, just check for a ground.
Oh, it's O'Connor, in fact, who's gone over. The video ref, Jamie Leahy, handing this on.
Well, he's just going to check the ground in here to see if he actually, Paul O'Connor, does get the ball down. Oh,
he's dropped that.
He drops it.
It's the grit that lets him down. How many times on a Thursday night do we say, get your thumb around that ball? Jason Davidson was discussing it with me at touch and pass today. There's a York hand in, and he has a right to strip that ball.
I don't know if it's a two. There's two men in the tackle there.
I think it's up to the bloke with the ball to keep control.
Tom Hodgson has performed a miracle there for York because Paul O'Connor has been denied the try.
I think the bloke in possession must keep control. He loses control whether there's one player, two player, three players.
Well, that's what the video refs decide, isn't it? That he didn't have control over the ball. He didn't have the grip around that ball, as you keep saying. So that's why he disallowed that try.
One, move, hold.
Let off for York then, who will bring the ball away in the shape there of Mark Applegarth and driven into the ground. That's a great tackle from Tommy Goulden.
And that's better defence. In the second half, they've really come out fired up, Oldham. They're trying to put big shots on. They're trying to turn the York players onto the back. It's something that they weren't doing in the first half. And that's why York looked so good with the ball, because they were playing on the front foot constantly.
Applegarth in again. Jason Bolts over the top.
Wait. Go, that's better.
Jamie Hansen as well. And Paul March with the kick. Work to do for Paul O'Connor, but he's got over there and collected the ball on the full. That was brilliant. And now Andy Ballard leading the counter for Oldham.
He took that ball well, and straight away, where does he want to get to? He wants to get to the middle of the park, so he's got options either side for his halfbacks.
Hold your line, get here.
Paul O'Connor involved again. Plays it for Thomas Coyle this time. Kerr has it.
And there's only one way Wayne will go, and that is straight and direct. And again, big yardage plays. Jamie Hansen, he's knocked two fellas on the floor in this game by straight, direct, hard running.
That's got Oldham in a great position here, and Thomas Coyle trying to profit. Last one coming up. Thomas Coyle. To his left is Neil Roden. He thought about the kick. Eventually sort of bobbled into the arms of John Oakes, and York have possession again.
Neil Roden put a little kick in, and you could see straight away, as soon as the York player got it, he's tried to get the one-on-one steal. But again, York offloading the ball. No matter how many Oldham defenders around them, they're still willing to get their arm free and pass it on to a teammate.
I'm talking about touch and pass. Of course, Jason Davidson is the Leeds and the England conditioner. Both teams look like they're having a game of touch and pass today. I don't know whether that reflects the pitch and how hard it is, but there's lots of offloads.
Good run from Jordan Ross to get York in this position. Now it's Richard Knight. St Hilaire upstairs and Neil Roden down below. I think I mentioned that Roden was in the 95 Academy Grand Final. I beg his pardon, it was the 98 Academy showpiece that he was involved in. This, meanwhile, is Paul March for York. Still just about got possession in the shape of Mark Applegarth. Applegarth, great offload as well. Adam Mitchell. That was Paul Hughes. Hughes for March again, and Paul March looking for his brother David. That move breaks down. York thrilling this crowd with this handling.
But again, movement and push-up support. Paul passes it to his brother David, who just wasn't expecting. Look at this for an offload off Applegarth. He's gone in, he's hit on the collision, he's spun round. He knows that when he spins round, he gets his arm free. Somebody's going to be there in support. It's a real team effort, and look at that, 13 offloads to 0. Oldham have really got to start locking up this ball. They seem to be winning the rut. They were hitting this York side really hard, but when they hit them, where is the ball?
Danny Halliwell chopped by Tom Harbright. This is Jason Bolts.
Move back! Wait! Go!
Applegarth with the tackle. Now Hansen.
Move! Go!
Faced by Richard Knight. And then Tommy Goulden with some good pace to get Oldham to that halfway line.
Go, that's good.
What are the options for Neil Roden? One of them is James Coyle, and Coyle moves into the York defenders again. the halfway line for York, and Roden has it.
Outside.
And just with a sensible kick into touch on this near side, and Oldham will settle for this. They're going to hunt the mistake.
And that's the difference between both sides. Oldham are almost trying to bore York to death with what they want to do. Play at the set of 6. He's not happy with that kick, I would imagine. He's trying to keep it in the field of play and pressure York nearer their own line. But nevertheless, they get to scrum down, have a bit of a chat, work out what's going right, what's going wrong, and will somebody lock the ball up?
One win apiece last year for these two. York won 40 points to 24 on this ground, and then Oldham ensured a home win 36-26 in March of 2008. Not much to choose between the sides today. There's 4 points between those second and third in the table. Here's Applegarth for York. Tackle comes in from Coyle and Bolts. Good work from Danny Halliwell.
Ball again. Nearly offloaded.
It was Adam Mitchell who was looking to promote it there. Paul March for David March, faced by Roden.
And again, his arms are free. Oh.
Last one for York. Kick from Paul March. Taken well by Andy Ballard.
And that's where you've really got to be brave. When you're on the back, the ball goes up in the air, you've got defenders chasing up that kick, and you've got to jump higher than your opposition, and Andy Ballard done just that.
It's a great leap from the 23-year-old.
And it's York this time who are penalised for a high tackle. Adam Mitchell. Just watch it, and it's off a rolling ruck. As soon as they try to speed things up, well, I'm not too sure. Just look at this. How does he hang on to this ball here? What about that?
Oldham substitution returning to the field, number 8.
Chris Baines it was who felt the high tackle. This is Paul Heighton for Oldham. 11 years at Salford. With a strong run.
I thought we were going to see an Oldham offload. They've been the first one.
Tommy Goulden for Neil Roden. Now it's Craig Robinson. Patience so far from Oldham. They're just 5 metres or so away from that York City Knights line. Trying to extend that lead. James Coyle with a kick. Looking for Andy Ballard. It goes out on the full. He was trying the imaginative approach there. James Coyle, but too high for Ballard.
Too much weight on that kick by James Coyle. As soon as he hit it, he knew that he put too much on it. But the difference, Barry, I would say with Oldham, when they go into the collision and they're looking to get their arm free, even if they do get it free, there's nobody pushing up in support. When you're going to the collision and get their arm free, there's someone always pushing up in that next hole. It's an honesty play. Even if you don't get it, you've got to be there for your teammate.
I agree. Of the two sides we're looking at, York are playing with a lot of confidence. They aren't bothered whether they can see the player they're passing to. As long as they have a general sense that he's around, they'll throw it. Oldham, because they're a little bit nervous, they're in front on the scoreboard. But as I said, just before half-time, they're losing a lot of the little battles.
Composed approach so far from York, and Mark Applegarth has it now.
He's been very impressive, Applegarth. High work rate, good leg drive, very strong in contact, and he's another one that's offloading the ball.
Former Stanley Rangers amateur, the ex-Wakefield man, 4 seasons at Bellevue. This, meanwhile, is David March.
Leave it. Go. Paul March out of play. I know, I'm just letting you know, mate.
York trying to work the ball to the left-hand side this time, and the crowd not happy with that tackle coming in from Halliwell.
Nothing wrong with that, Ben. The player was going away from him. Just grabbed at him.
Lee Greenwood fields Adam Mitchell's kick on the bounce, and there's a welcoming committee comprising Tom Harbright and Mitchell, who kicked it.
Let him up. Wait. Hold it, Dave. Go.
Greenwood plays the ball. Paul Hughes. That's
2.
Richard Knight.
Line, lads. Wait. Go.
Good run from Heighton.
The game's intensity just dropped a little bit in the last couple of minutes, almost 55 minutes, and the two teams have been going hell for leather, giving it everything. The National League teams, the Championship teams don't get that much exposure on Sky, and when they do, they react to it. They absolutely love it and give us a good show every Thursday.
Okay, Danny.
These two of the leading lights in Championship 1. 7 wins from 9 for Oldham, 6 wins from 10 for York. Just a point separating them in the table. Oldham just trying to put pressure on this York side as they try and bring the ball away. That was Mitchell, this is Applegarth. Paul Hughes. Oh, it's Paul March and David March. Trapped by Roden, Goulden in there as well, alongside St Hilaire. Ball comes free.
He wasn't able to juggle the ball on that occasion, March. Marcus St Hilaire had a hand in there. Do you agree, Tez?
But that was frustration by the York players, because Oldham's defence really restricted him to about 25 metres. It was a real good effort. Here you see March go down. He's trying to get up. Does St Hilaire have a little hand in there?
But just as the try before half-time, it's up to the bloke with the ball to control it. I'm sure of that.
Andy Ballard combines with Danny Halliwell. Paul Riley still getting treatment for that broken nose. Really tough job to try and get him back on the field of play or get that blood stopped, as Rod was saying in that first period. Here's Paul O'Connor. It's Chris Baines who picks it up on the bounce. Still tackles left.
Sykes trying to get Baines up. They've got something organised, but they needed off a quick play of the ball.
Roden. That was James Coyle and Paul O'Connor trying to examine them on the York left-hand side this time. James Coyle, Neil Roden. Now it's Robinson. The last tackle, Craig Robinson gets his side to within 5 metres of that York City Knights line. Roden. The pass for Chris Baines. Baines finds St Hilaire. That's going to be the turnover though. The York defence marshalled in time and they forced the turnover. Ran out of options really there, Oldham.
Well, there it was. There was the first offload from this Oldham side, but he had to offload the ball. He had to look to play because it was the last tackle. They had numbers surrounding the ball. They were a couple of yards from the try line, but good defence from York.
So Oldham turn to hunt the mistake.
Here it is. There's the offload by Baines. He gets it away to St Hilaire.
And I think Marcus St Hilaire, he offloaded the ball. They're like buses, Tez. You wait all match for 1 and 2 come together.
And then from putting all that attacking play on, down at the bottom half, getting him in good field position, giving away a penalty. And it's that guy, Paul Riley.
Paul Riley back on the field of play in that number 30 shirt this time. They've managed to patch him up. The headgear unusual but effective. Here is Rob Kelly.
That's the
York.
difference between our sportsmen and sportsmen in other games. We just say tape it up, stop the bleeding. If you can't stop the bleeding, tape it up and let me get back out there. Real bravery from Paul Riley.
Jordan Ross with the quick play of the ball. It's Paul Hughes who was hit high there, but it's the pace with which York are playing at the moment that's troubling Oldham.
And that's it, it's back-to-back penalties, and it's just the way and the speed that they're playing with the ball. They're forcing the opposition into giving penalties away because they can't control the speed of the ruck.
This crowd getting behind their side again. Healthy crowd at the Huntington Stadium. Paul March.
Wait, go.
Plays the ball for Paul Hughes. Now Jordan Ross. York inching closer. Over 3,000 here. Adam Mitchell.
3. Hold your line, Andy. Andy. Wait. 2 feet for me. Go.
Adam Mitchell plays the ball for Paul Hughes. Hughes gets out, finds Mark Applegarth, and Applegarth dragging himself towards the line. Hughes darts over. He's just short. Last one coming up. Crowd thought he was over there, the hooker. This is David March. Knows it's the last tackle, finds Ross. Ross for John Oakes. Oakes has managed to pass the ball. This is great play, and Roden touched that, did he? 6 more coming up for York. They've turned the screw here, the home side, and York City Knights desperate to go over. It's Sean Hesketh. York know that a win here would see them leapfrog Oldham into 2nd place in the Championship 1. Paul Hughes. Hughes is over. Paul Hughes, the delight on his face, and the captain. Paul Hughes, the skipper, levels things up at the Huntington Stadium. It's his 15th try of the season, and one of the most important. A huge crowd here, and they're delighted with that. The Former England Students International. 15 tries in 2009. And now York could go ahead with this kick.
And you thought that Oldham had counteracted this, but again the offload. Is his foot in touch? Oh! Guppy had a little look down from this angle. Oof, does he lift his heel? Anyway, the next set of 6, they get another set of 6. They offload it. Roden touches the ball. It's another set of 6 for this York side. They've got possession 10 yards from the line, and this is just determination. You get the ball, you stay strong, you focus on where that line is, and you get the try. And that's what Paul Hughes done. He had the ability and the strength to get over that line. He says, come on then.
A few moments ago, Adam Mitchell gave York the lead for the first time in this game, and the stadium volume goes up again. The City Knights lead by 20 points to 18 now.
York can't fail whenever they use the ball, they offload the ball, they play what they see. They get reactions like that, they get moments like that. There isn't much set structure, apart from when you see a tap penalty or a scrum. Everything else is just play what you see. Push into that next hole.
We hope
Get
for
the
a
ball
classic.
away when you can.
We hope for a classic between the teams lying 2nd and 3rd in the Cooperative Championship 1. This is a classic. It's a magnificent game, and York just shading it at the moment. They're trying to score back-to-back tries here tonight. Paul Riley in that 30 shirt with the tackle. Mitchell wants to quick play the ball. Eventually Hughes plays it. This now is Jordan Ross. Last one coming up for Paul March's side, and it's with the player coach. Raking kick, testing that Oldham defence. They've spilled it. Could be 6 more here, and Rob Kelly has it.
Not for me, it's a turnover there, tackle on 6.
He's given a turnover.
Oh, I don't know whether an Oldham player touched that ball then, as it was bobbling and ricocheting. Paul O'Connor gets nowhere near. Neil Roden touches that. Whether he plays at it, I don't think so. So it's a rebound and a correct decision by the ref.
Here is Riley. Oldham just want to get the ball away from that danger zone, and Paul Hughes, the captain, trying to move them away from there.
Wait, go.
James Coyle. This is Tommy Goulden.
Come on. Go.
This is Oldham in possession, and James Coyle. It was Danny Ratcliffe who'd filtered across, was in an excellent position and took that ball on the full. Roden effects the tackle.
This York side have really lifted. their urgency to defend and attack, and every time they get that ball, they're looking to win the floor. They're looking to find the front, they're looking to be honest for the teammate, and you can see that Paul and David March, the twins, are just looking and probing, and this guy has really had a big game. Every time he gets the ball, big Mark Applegarth, he makes yardage.
David March now for the night. Here is Paul Hughes, now Paul March, John Oakes, Sean Hesketh.
Number 10, Adam Sullivan returning to the field, replacing number 16.
It's going to be another high kick from Adam Mitchell. He's hung it up in the air again. It's Andy Ballard who's underneath it, but he was almost claimed there by Mitchell, and Mitchell's done really well because York are going to get a repeat set here. Andy Ballard trapped in the goal area.
That's fantastic hassling from the York side. There seems to be two paces in this game. The pace that York are playing at and the pace that Oldham are playing at. An outstanding night here.
Huge crowd, over 3,000, as you see. That crowd of 3,106, bigger than any crowd in National League 2 throughout the whole of last season. So York really have come out in force here to support their side, and the team doing them proud on the field as well. Problem for Craig Robinson, former Wakefield and Rochdale man. It's to his feet now and just jogs back into the line as Andy Ballard prepares to take this goal line drop out.
York deserve a lot of credit for tonight. They've done a hell of a lot of work in promoting this game. They're happy to have the Sky cameras here. It's a hotbed of rugby league, York. In the amateur scene, in the professional scene, even though they're in Championship 1, they still play every week and they still come up to turn up to watch them play.
Here's Adam Sullivan for the City Knights. Paul Hughes, Paul March. John Oakes. Oh, in fact, it's Hesketh, I beg his pardon. Now Hughes, and Applegarth. It's a big hit on him, but he still managed to get the ball away, and Sullivan it was who found David March. His brother waits, and Hesketh involved again. Last one coming up for York. It's that slender 2-point lead and a teasing kick, but well watched. And O'Connor launches the counter again.
And March looking to strip that ball. You thought for a moment if Paul O'Connor could get free. He's one of the players on the pitch that has got the pace to go the full length of the pitch. Oldham need a release of pressure, and they get it from York with an offside decision. There's quite a few players in front of the referee. Marcus Centeleur comes this short side, and Jamie Lee, he blows his whistle, relieving the pressure for Oldham.
Paul Heighton drives into the heart of that York City Knights defence again. James Coyle, Danny Halliwell now, upended by Mitchell, Adam Mitchell that is. Tom Harbright in there as well. Gary Sykes finds James Coyle. Coyle this time for Jamie Ianson. Two big men colliding then as Sean Hesketh comes to effect the tackle. Gary Sykes moving again to that left-hand side where Roden's waiting. Roden with a short pass for Tommy Goulden. Goulden will play it for Gary Sykes, and Sykes trying to go himself there. A couple of metres away, and the York defence marshals. Last one. Marcus Centeleur's pass isn't the best, and Neil Roden eventually picks up the pieces. It's a good kick in the circumstances as well, and great claim as well from Mike Mitchell. Rose highest there and diffused that situation.
Good play by Mike Mitchell. He concentrated so that Paul Riley was going to challenge him. Paul Riley, normally a fullback, so Neil Roden kicked the ball to him. Normally good in the air, but you look at the way Oldham are playing, and they're playing really structured. They're trying to set up for the play. Now you watch this set of six, the way that York play. They play what's in front of them.
Tackle one. Move, Danny.
First tackle then.
Wait.
for York. It's Harbright who plays it. Mitchell finds Sullivan. Craig Robertson with the tackle upstairs. Heighton in there as well. They move over halfway now, the City Knights, in the shape of Paul Hughes, the captain. Adam Mitchell. Adam Sullivan. Tommy Gould in there. Jamie Hansen as well, and Paul Heighton. Messi play the ball.
Sullivan, that was his second involvement in the set of 6. You wouldn't want your front rows doing that pretty quite often in the game. Don't mention the grip, Tez.
Yeah, but you can't knock the lad's effort if he's putting his hand up to take the ball forward. If it's his second carry...
I'm not knocking his effort, I'm saying where are his teammates? Share the workload, and then you don't get a bloke who's exhausted, and so exhausted he can't play the ball.
Here's Neil Roden for Oldham. Now, Tommy Goulden. It's Rob Kelly and Paul Hughes with the tackle for York. Short pass for Ianson this time from James Coyle. He's involved again to give it to Thomas. Now Danny Halliwell just stops, assesses, and then drives in again. Faced by Adam Mitchell. Tom Harbright in there as well.
Substitution for Oldham coming on to the field. Number 7, Thomas Coyle.
Thomas Coyle,
17,
James Coyle.
Robinson.
Gary Sykes trying to work up the middle now.
Good take.
Patience this time from Oldham, and Roden involved again, and St Hilaire on that left-hand side.
Does well to stay in there, Marcus St Hilaire. What have they got set up?
Paul O'Connor. Kick over the top from Ballard. Taken on the full in the in-goal area. Great work again from Mike Mitchell, and they'll have a 20-metre restart.
A really poor option on last play for this Oldham side. They had time to set things up. And when it comes to executing fifth tackle options, what they got? Nothing but a kick to the corner. They need to try something. Jamie Ianson gets an offload away, and with that broken defence comes a bit of joy. They need to get into the game that York are playing.
Just a couple of points the difference today. Well, Oldham's last win at York was 15 points to 14 just a couple of years ago, and that was a drop goal from Rob Roberts that proved crucial on that occasion. Not involved tonight, of course. That medial ligament injury. Mitchell with the kick over the top for York. Turns Oldham around again, and it's Ballard who has to bring the ball away. Harbright is there. Adam Mitchell assists.
And that's where you talk about arm wrestlers, and you hear coaches saying it, and you hear commentators say it. But York are willing to just do the hard things right. They'll play the ball as quick as they can, they'll push up, they'll put the kick into the corner, and they will defend. And that is where they know they will win the game. If they defend, they keep the discipline.
Oh. I think there were 2 knock-ons then. I think the Oldham player, is it Tommy Goulden? Tommy Goulden, I feel, knocks this ball on. There you go.
No,
although it's going
backwards. It's John Oakes. John Oakes there.
Yeah, I'm wrong.
The York number 3.
That should be Oldham head and feed.
No, he passed it backwards, and as
referee Jamie Lee, he has awarded the scrum in favour of Oldham. Just waiting for it to be formed to his satisfaction, and now the Roughheads can play it. And strong run first up from Neil Roden. Now Gary Sykes. There's a welcoming committee comprising 3 York City Knights there, Harbright and Applegarth among them. Thomas Coyle, James Coyle, short pass, Ianson again. York defence is solid from Sullivan. Now James Coyle again, on his inside is Paul O'Connor, and Sullivan is there. O'Connor still on, gets up and plays the ball, carries on, he's still on his feet. Wasn't held. Oldham inching closer.
York were claiming that he dropped that ball.
Goulden plays it. Eventually comes back to James Coyle, and Roden is there. Roden back for Paul O'Connor. O'Connor trying to drag them. He's kicked it. Almost retained possession. He's knocked on, and so York see off that danger. They have the scrum.
Paul O'Connor drops the ball onto his foot. He tries to pick it up. It was a poor kick. You can see there at his right arm, he tries to scoop it up. To the knock on now, York will get head and feed. Tony Benson really frustrated that his Oldham team are not building any pressure whatsoever. Every time they get down here, they think they have to score every set of 6 instead of a nice little neat kick into the end goal and force another set of 6.
With 8 minutes to go, Tez, I mean, I know there's only 2 points in it, but I think Oldham's mentality of let's just keep chipping away isn't doing that much for them.
This is Mike Mitchell. He's surrendered possession here, Mitchell. Thought for a moment it'd been stripped.
Well, Ben, every time you're down here, this is what you've got to do. You've got to challenge the opposition to bring that ball away. And on that occasion, Mike Mitchell wasn't good enough holding on to that ball to go into collision and keep control of that ball. Oldham get rewarded, and let's see what they can do in this set of 6.
It's 40 minutes since Oldham last scored a try through Chris Baines, and on the very first tackle, they go into touch on that far side, and look at what it means to the York defence.
And there's your answer. They can't do anything with that set of 6 because these York players are up for it. They're high-fiving each other, they're tapping each other on the back, and that was good defensive play by John Oakes, the right centre for this York side. Look at the players come running over to congratulate the teammates. This sport's played by 17 guys, 13 of them take the pitch at one time, but you don't get to win a game without your teammates, and that was good play by John Oakes.
Recognised as such by all his teammates there. Paul March had to wait until his 12th game in charge to get a win in 2008. He's won 10 of 17 in all competitions this year, and there's more good news for York because they've got a penalty.
And there you go, things go against you, and what do? You get frustrated and you give a penalty away. Thomas Coyle, you've got to keep your discipline. There's only 2 points in this game. You get a couple more sets of 6. You've got to build that pressure.
This is Tom Harbright for York.
It's York tonight's number 29, Mark Applegard.
That's Hughes. Now Adam Sullivan. Danny Ratcliffe shifts the ball to the right-hand side. Paul March is there.
Move, Tom! Wait!
David March with the David March is going to receive possession now. Give it to Adam Sullivan. Gary Sykes and Paul Heighton in there. Oldham need the ball back. 4 tackles gone for the Knights. David March looking to pull away here. York.
Move! Hold.
This is the last one coming up. They'll be looking at least for a repeat set. To kick from Mitchell. Testing Ballard.
20 metre.
Jumps highest and diffuses, or catches the ball on the full. Quick 20-metre restart, and Ballard immediately involved again. He's the fastest man on this Oldham side.
And that's what he did. He jumped up, he got the ball in his own field goal area. He's got it to the 20-metre mark. He's chased it because he knows that he's got speed to burn. He was looking for that gap. On that occasion, it wasn't there.
Oldham will be glad to have possession though, and Lee Greenwood on the halfway line. This is Jamie Hansen. Hansen plays it for Thomas Coyle.
All very static, very flat, very unorganised.
Roden, one of the key creative influences on this Oldham side. There's another one, James Coyle, and almost an intercept. It was Sean Hesketh.
Well, there's taking it to the line and taking it to the line. The big guy, Sean Hesketh, thought he was going to be in for a 70-metre try. He puts his hand out, it's a knock on there.
Physio, let's see if we get him.
There he is, shaking his head. I could have had a 70-metre mark. There's Tony Benson. What will he be sending on the orders?
Concern on the face of Tony Benson there, the former Lee and London Scholars and Junior Kiwis coach. But obviously concern for Paul March and York City Knights, because it's Chris Clough who is receiving treatment.
Okay, trainers off then, have a quick drink, trainers off.
Could be tactical, but it looked like he
He can't feel
Injury
sorry
to the
for
nose.
He can't feel sorry for himself with that, can he, mate? He's only got to look at Paul Riley.
Let's go. On.
Get up, you big Jesse.
Maybe he gets a new shirt. This is Marcus St. Hilaire.
One. Move. Hands out. Go.
Oldham. In the shape of Paul O'Connor. They know that if they score, they could snatch it. It really could go either way. This is James Coyle. Now Jamie Anson. Oldham inching closer. 3.5 or thereabouts minutes to go. And this one really in the melting pot. Here is Sykes, St. Hilaire. Marcus St. Hilaire is going to be forced out of touch again. This is James Coyle, now Heighton. Heighton, faced by Hesketh. Last one coming up for Oldham. James Coyle has it, and it's Tommy Goulden trying to use his strength on the last tackle. Tommy Goulden, one of the biggest players on show. Going to go to the video referee.
He's had a great game tonight, Tommy Goulden. Gets a low body angle, good leg drive. My first thoughts is this is a try. What do you think, Tez?
I think he's got this ball over the line. You've got to feel sorry for York if this is a try. They were turning up for each other. But can we see that's a try? He's over the line. You can see his body, then he's pushed back. They try everything, York, to stop that try. You can see the ball goes down there. He's got control of it.
Does the ball touch the floor or does his arm touch the floor? I think that's what they're trying to work out.
What do we see from this angle? His upper body gets over the line. Does he manage to ground the ball on that line before he's pushed back over? You can see the York players trying everything to lift him up and push him back.
The players aren't sure. That's normally a decent indicator. Nobody's moved. They're all just trying to stir out the referee to see what his decision is going to be from the video ref.
That as a try.
I think that's a try.
But we're not the video referee.
Oh, now. There it is.
But is that behind the line?
It's impossible to tell from... I think...
Do you know, from the angle before...
the benefit of the doubt has got to go with the block of the ball.
From the angle before, I think that he got that ball down.
Yeah.
On that occasion, I think from where he finishes off, he's pushed behind the line from that angle. This is a tough call. There it is, he's pushed behind the line. You can see his head's behind the try line.
I don't know whether he's going to give this. There's too much in that melee there. The York players pushing back. I don't know.
Oof, it's a tough decision.
They've gone past the initial... Oh, they're coming back to it now.
For
me, he gets it down.
Does he get it down at that point there? Is the ball down? Nope, it's lifted up there. But as it rolls on, watch for the ball. Does it go down to the ground? You can see the York defender having hold of the ball. He's trying to lift the ball up to prevent him from grounding it. But on that... Oof. The York fans will be sat at home saying no try. The Oldham fans will be sat at home saying that's a try. Here we go again.
It's not cut and clear, and players don't mind as long as the decision is right. We're coming up towards 3 minutes now. What's the decision going to be? I don't think it's clear. I don't think it's easy.
Well, here it is.
This is a huge call from the video referee, James Child.
Clock on. No try.
The try is ruled out. Tony Benson can't believe it.
What an effort. What an effort from the York defence. The play before, they've held Marcus St. Hilaire up. There was 5 players in the shot. And again, they get over the line and 3 of the players come along, they hold him up and they push him back. That's what video referee James Child said.
Oldham have won their last 4 matches in Championship 1. Is that the call that ends that run?
The clock is running against Oldham now. They need that ball back.
It's York in possession now.
Surrender! Stand! Wait! Go!
You can see Ben Carney, you can see why they're the second best defensive team in this competition, because the teamwork and they turn up for each other. Absolutely fantastic.
The kick from Paul March is applauded as soon as it leaves his boot, because it traps Paul O'Connor virtually on his own line. The chase is a good one as well, and Adam Sullivan with an important tackle. Inside the last 2 minutes, Paul Riley driven back by Paul March. Mark Applegarth in there as well.
And again, 78.5 minutes gone, and they've still got the strength to push Paul Riley back. Unbelievable.
This is Jamie Jansen for Oldham.
Just a bit quick.
Is there time for them to spoil the party in the most bitter style? Great work from Sean Hesketh. Last one coming up. There can't be too many opportunities left for Oldham, and Riley has it. Riley, inside ball. Thomas Coyle has it. Coyle with a kick. Back in York possession now in the shape of Mike Mitchell, and Mitchell is away. Mike Mitchell carrying the ball as far away from his own post as he can here.
Good strong play from Mike Mitchell.
They've got a penalty now, York, as well. Holding down, that's surely now the match for York City Knights. Incredible contest here at the Huntington Stadium before a record crowd this year. It's been a magnificent game, and Danny Helliwell and Oldham look to be on the losing side.
Sheer determination from this York side. Desire, grit, effort, second effort, everything this team has got.
Just waiting for the ball in position. York, of course, won't want to hurry this. The clock is ticking against Oldham. Hesketh has it. That's the last action. And York have pulled off a magnificent victory at the Huntington Stadium. They go second in the table, taking Oldham's place in the Cooperative Championship 1. Over 3,000 here to see it, and it's been a monumental battle between York and Oldham. Look at the celebrations for Adam Sullivan and the York City Knights. They're second in the league, and it's joy all round, joy unconfined for Paul March's side. I think now we can join Rod Studd. He's with the man of the match, Mark Applegarth.
Mark, congratulations, man of the match. There's the champagne. You were off the field when that crucial decision was being taken by the video ref. Took an age. What was it like watching that?
To be honest with you, I didn't actually see what happened, but it must have been very close for him to take that long over it. Fortunately, it came out on our side. I think it were very two evenly matched teams tonight. It could have gone either way, and it were real arm wrestling in that middle of the game, and luckily we've just come out on top.
To be fair, you've done well to come from 12-0 down inside 12 minutes. It was a very patient performance. How did you maintain your confidence and your patience as a team?
To be honest, we've been like that a bit this season, gone down before, and we know if we can stick in a game, we've got the attacking ability with both marches involved to get us back into a game, and I think we've got second best defence in the league at the moment. That's one of the key things that we've been working on, defence. So we knew that if we just toughed it out, we can get some points, and if we can get it right area.
£100 with the man of the match as well. Where's the money going, Mark?
Definitely to my old club, the Adam Team Fund at Wakefield.
Well done, Mark. Let's move on. Let's get Paul March in. Paul, well done. You're really putting something together here at York. There's a huge crowd in tonight. They've enjoyed it all. It's been a fantastic victory for the club. Just sum up what you're putting together here as a club.
We try to take the club forward. Not just on the field, off the field as well. We've got some major sponsors now, and and us lads on field are taking the club forward as well.
It's a real contrast in styles because you were looking to offload virtually every opportunity. They were trying to play the percentage game. It worked in the end for you. That
wasn't the game plan. We put ourselves under pressure in the first half, and we spoke about at half-time that we needed to control the ball and play sets out. And I believe we did that in second half, and we come up with a victory.
Up into second in the table now as well, Paul. So how far can you go? I mean, clearly promotion is the aim of the club, isn't it?
Oh, everybody's aim is that, and we're all chasing Dewsbury now, and let's keep on the tails and see what happens in the next few weeks.
Well done. Enjoy the win, Paul. Thanks.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
So Paul March's York City Knights side winning this one by 20 points to 18 in a real nerve-jangling second half. Just the one try score, but plenty of incidents. And as you can see, that victory moving York City Knights up to second place in the table. And they go above Oldham, the beaten side, tonight. And so Dewsbury Rams might be having it their own way at the top, but it's a real battle going on behind them, and this was a real battle in the second half, Barry.
It was an absolutely outstanding game. Here we see Paul O'Connor going very close, and the determination of the York players meant that at every point, at every contest, they were looking to play, they were looking in every collision to get the ball away, and that was the tale of the tape in this game for me. It was a tale of two separate, contrasting styles, forcing Oldham on this occasion, I think, to go that little bit higher to try and lock the ball up. And here is the decision, and the no decision by that video ref. The York players held that Oldham player up. Tommy Goulden, he tried his absolute best for the Oldham side. Didn't deserve to be on the losing side, but a fantastic contest.
And the Oldham supporters and the Oldham team no doubt will be discussing that on the way home, but for the York City supporters still celebrating, the team has just been saluted by the crowd just down below us. This has been a great night, hasn't it? I mean, it was a fantastic crowd, and they couldn't have asked for more in terms of entertainment.
Really, Bill, the championship is all about those lesser teams who don't get their time in the light to showcase their club, and over 3,000 people came here to watch. Many travelled over from Oldham, the birthplace of the tubular bandage, but they made the effort to come over and join in the festivities.
And I mean, there are some people who are quite snippy about the championship and the championship on action and what they're seeing on a Thursday night. How you can possibly complain about that after a game like this, I really don't understand.
No, I don't, and it means the world to the people. There are all kinds of different levels of rugby league. There's Super League, there's International, there's the NRL, there's lots of ways that we can watch our great game. And let's not forget the amateur game. Without the amateur game, there wouldn't be hardly any players. There wouldn't be any British-based players, because that's where we all start off. But you look at York, you look at what they've done, and you've got to admire them for tonight.
Absolutely, and there'll be probably more in the same vein next Thursday when we're at Barrow for Barrow against Toulouse in the championship. But before then, we've got a weekend